What's going on, everybody? Today is November 24th. It's Friday. I guess not quite an Aloha Friday. I kind of forgot. Oh, no, Beth is. Aloha Beth is holding down Aloha Friday. Thank you, Beth. I just realized that as I had my AI Exchange hoodie on here, for any of those who can see it in the camera.
The Aloha clashed with Black Friday. So
yeah. It is finally just cool enough. It's only a high of like 62 in Tampa today, so it's that is a cool day. Eran, I don't know what that is in Celsius, but that's
it's hot here, really hot and humid. Not nice. We've had major bushfires like 15 or 20 miles north of where I live, so they've been going for days. It's welcome to Australia in the summer. Good stuff.
Okay, so I did just look it up. It's 16 degrees Celsius here today as a high.
That's very cold. Very cold.
See, that's the way I feel. Eran, you and I are on the same page with this.
It's 40 degrees. Listen. 40 degrees Fahrenheit here in Northern California.
I'll let it be colder.
48.
You guys
0 degrees Celsius is freezing. Water's freezing point. So whatever that is.
Right. Yeah. So today we got. I think everybody in our audience knows, but we got Beth, Andy, Eran, and I'm Brian hanging out today on this Friday. I hope for everybody in the States, you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving yesterday. I know I did. It was a lot of fun. Food came out good. Turkey wasn't too dry. All the good stuff. So we're back on track today, and we do have a topic, and the topic is Canva. And you may, speaking of Australians, Canva is an Australian born company, and probably the pride of Australia, I would imagine. They're doing really well. And wanted to just sort of talk about Canva, but also some of these other tools like Adobe Express and some other ones we'll bring up. Just talking about like, where are we in terms of, you want to make quick edits, you want to do background removal, you want to do a fill, you want to do some AI changes. You want to change text that's in an image to something else. You want to make quick Instagram or LinkedIn posts or whatever the case is, or you have to put a slide deck together. All these things that are sort of on the multimedia side of things. Where are we right now in terms of which ones have the best AI tools? Which ones are the most cost effective? What are we currently using as a individuals and as a team for the Daily AI Show? So that's kind of where we kick it off. And I think, Eran, maybe you'd be the best to kick it off because you said you really hadn't been using Canva, but you just tested it out and you were kind of blown away. So you want to kind of kick this off?
Sure. So while I'm changing to share my screen, I will say that I have had a paid Canva account for quite some time, and it's one of my favorite graphic design tools. I've always told people I'm a great marketer, but don't hire me to do your graphic design. You'll be sorely disappointed. But Canva makes me look pretty good. So that's first things first. The AI stuff in it, I really haven't done a lot with it. But what I thought I'd do while Brian and I were chatting offline was I thought, okay, I'm just going to type something at random that was relevant to what I needed and just see what happens. So I typed in up the top here. You might be able to see if I zoom in a little bit, it'll make it easier to see. And it says YouTube thumbnail of a marketing topic. That's a little bit generic. And it popped up these. Now, here's what I particularly found interesting with these, which I thought they looked pretty good. Notice something. They're all, every time you've ever done any AI stuff with art, you put words on them and they look like gibberish. Every one of these had real words that were not gibberish.
Right.
So obviously you can go in and edit the template, but nonetheless, I was very impressed with that by itself. By the way,
yes, and a nice variety of headlines for marketing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
and if you can see what Eran has clicked in right now, he's clicking on the words, and it's showing that it's using the AI magic right, which is why the words are correct, because it's not. It's on top of the image and the layout and all of that, but that's a difference between the other image tools that say that are still struggling with writing because it's not
trying
just
to incorporate
overlaid
it into the graphic pixels of the image rather than having an overlay, which is what Canva is doing here.
Kind of.
And let's make sure we're clear on this too. This is a template, so it's not as if AI created it raw, and that might be a little different. Where I don't know, but that might be where the wording might be built in versus an overlay. It's a really good point to figure out, though, because if what it was just doing was Eran asked for, he said, this is kind of what I want to talk about, and Canva just pulled back pre-created templates, then that's one thing because it's overlaying the text and then he could fix the text. If it's AI generated net new templates based on his query, that would be different. And I don't know actually the answer. I'm just saying that we would need to know the difference.
Well, I mean, I look at it. All I typed in was, basically a YouTube thumbnail for a marketing topic. That's very generic. I mean, that's still a pretty good thing there. But I thought, let's have a little fun and sprinkle some fairy dust on things and see what happens. So is your AI-powered writing assistant helping you write copy and brainstorm ideas? Okay, all right. Try it out. I got no idea what's going to happen. I'm flying by the seat of my pants here, and nothing is happening. Awesome.
maybe highlight the text. Highlight the text.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Highlight the text and then do it.
I did.
Did you?
Or you mean like that?
Yes.
Oh, I guess it doesn't give you the magic right then, huh?
No.
Okay. Well, I take it back then. Try it one more time, I guess.
Sprinkle fairy dust, for those of you who are listening, is actually a menu item on the Magic Write drop down for this particular block.
There you go.
So what does it say? The wisdom? We got to scroll up or something.
Yeah.
It is untold wisdom, arcane wisdom.
A tome of arcane wisdom, the ultimate guide to the art of marketing strategy. So I think it left that part in, but that is a hell of a title. A tome. I don't even know what half of it means.
A tome is a large volume.
A large volume? A large volume of arcane wisdom.
Magic. It was magic. It was fairy dust.
Listen,
so
that's
really impressive. Because, here's the thing. I've been doing a lot of what I call slideshow videos, AI videos lately, where I'm writing a script with ChatGPT. I'm telling it to come up with a description for me to put into DALL-E and produce the image for a slide. It's a laborious process. I'm now going to be doing this in Canva. If this is quicker and more reliable, then I think I just found a winner to speed up the whole process. So I'll have to report back on that one. But I'm impressed straight away.
So it's interesting because Canva has had AI embedded for a while. Like Canva was embedding DALL-E before ChatGPT came out. DALL-E was bad, right? But so if you're me and you're generating images of people singing, you're generating like scary people screaming because that's pretty much what it was. But it strikes me that Canva is ahead of the game in terms of not needing to figure out their AI pieces. They just built in new the newer models, the new, more capable models, and then went directly to their bread and butter, which is a document that has different kinds of elements that you can edit directly. And
I think that's the distinction I notice most, which is DALL-E's going to create an edge-to-edge, graphic image, whereas Canva focused on the art and science of what Eran does so well, which is lay out beautiful things that will go into a presentation, is focused on the elements that are a part of those layouts. Some of them are not necessarily generated by AI, but AI is governing and marshaling the assembly of all those elements and gives you editing and advice on how to improve each element.
Yeah,
and
very cool.
That experience alone has now inspired me to actually use the damn product I'm paying for and learn more about what this can do. So, if hopefully that inspires somebody else. And I've loved what you've been doing with your thumbnails, Brian.
Yeah, and I just changed the screen and it didn't change. Oh, because it's not doing the whole screen. Okay, 1 second.
Because it
popped up in a new. It popped up in a new thing. Yeah, 1 second. I was like, I am looking at a different screen than you guys. Yeah. So look, we use this all the time. In fact, I think I didn't do this one. Jimmy did this one, so that's awesome because he had an interview with Roll.ai. So there you go. There's an example of our team now going in there, and I popped in, and this is the same style as you can see here. right? We use the same color. Eran, you were the one that said, use something like yellow. And I agree with you. Yellow definitely pops off the thumbnails. I think that was a really, really good idea. But what we can do is I'll just use this one as an example. For some reason, it doesn't have whatever on it. And then I'll grab my uploads and throw them in here. But if we go click on this one and we say edit photo, now what you get with the paid side, you can try it for free, by the way, for easily a month, maybe 2 months. So you get a really good trial period. It's at least a month, and I highly recommend it for everybody because you should at least know what your options are, and then don't subscribe if you don't want to. But you have a couple things. You have background remover, magic eraser. So magic eraser is exactly what we would think if I want to get rid of just this circle. Usually it has to take me 1 or 2 tries, but it should just have it's given the background to it. It's got some shading in there, but essentially, yeah, it's still got the circle on it. Maybe not the best choice on that one because of the shading on the wall, but I have gotten it to basically remove it. It's just got the green behind it. And then it also has
the background, Brian, I don't know if it's the same thing. So the background removal, I have used that a fair bit before, and generally speaking, like for just the whole image, and generally speaking, I've had really good results with it. As compared to trying to do something with Photoshop, for example, which I'm useless at anyway. So that's
it also has this. It also has this magic grab, and I know for those who just listen to the podcast, you may not be able to see this, but it grabbed all the people and pieces, and then I can move them around. The only thing I don't like is because look, it literally grabbed it off the image. I mean, it's pretty impressive, but the only thing I don't like about it is you can't, as of now, you cannot drag and drop over. I don't know where they go, somewhere around there. You cannot drag and drop over something and just magic grab something. As soon as you click on the image, it just does magic grab. And so that to me is like, here, we'll put that back. And then
so you can't select just to drag the people on the right.
Same thing with grab text. And then magic edit, I don't think I have used. Brush over the image, magic edit. Let's brush over this guy. I think you're supposed to be able to replace it. Brush size, continue, describe what we want. I don't know. I want a flower.
Picture of a flower.
So just to describe, this is one of our thumbnails for a show. There's a robot in the center giving a presentation in front of a diagram, a chart.
That's good.
And there are images of people surrounding the podium looking at the robot, and it's in a room that's kind of rainbow striped. So Brian has been trying to erase, he moved the people around. I don't know how to describe what's on the wall. Like they're little discs of pie charts as art.
Basically. Yeah, because this was like our future of sales. I think this is our future of sales episode. It doesn't have the wording on it. We'll go backwards on this one.
He just magically changed a pie chart into a purple flower.
Yeah, and it doesn't look pixely around the side of the flower. It actually looks pretty decent. I'm actually impressed with that. So anyway, they have some filters and FX effects, but here's their Magic Studio stuff up in the upper left corner. And I think it's only going to get better. So this is, you guys can, anybody that's watching this can see, this is like quite literally what we use all the way up through our Thanksgiving one. And then here's actually the Canva one today. This is the thumbnail for today. And this is a good example where I had told DALL-E 3, I went into ChatGPT, and that's where I create these images. It wrote Canva, but it put an extra V. So it was CANVVA. I went in here and said, magic AI select the text, and was able to eliminate the mistake by ChatGPT DALL-E 3. And then I was also able to magic select. You can't, if you're watching this, you can see Adobe on the rabbit, because this is supposed to be like a tortoise and hare. Is Canva the tortoise that's gonna pass by the sleeping hare? That was the idea behind this photo. And so I was able to make the Adobe bigger on the book that the rabbit essentially was holding. And then some other quick effects or stuff like that. But again, if I wanted to take this whole tortoise here and just grab him, and I think I did, if I remember right, and I made him bigger or something like that. Anyway, it's a really,
nice.
for me, it's a 1-2 punch of free ChatGPT DALL-E 3, a quick download, upload into Canva, and adjust it and make it what I want, because it can grab the text, it can do overlays, pretty simple stuff. But man, when I think what I used to have to do in Adobe Photoshop to pull this off, and it would probably crash 3 times before it got there. Just really, really happy with this where we are with Canva.
So Brian, say this is the paid version or not paid, and what's the cost of Canva paid?
Right. So I just upgraded, so I can tell you that in a second here. Let me find my. Y'all keep talking. I will find it for you.
Well, Brian's looking at that. So there's an apps section in Canva as well, and they've now got a whole pile of AI-based apps in there, like HeyGen, Hello QR, Nerf AI. So there's a whole pile of other stuff in there you can do as well, or use
DID presentation.
Some of it you got to pay for it if you want extra credits, but a lot of it's you get some free credits, so that's pretty cool as well.
And a bunch of
$120 a year.
Okay,
$120
for a year. I paid for the annual. Yeah, I'm using it so often that it kind of hit that threshold for me where I said to be able to get the more premium templates, which are typically better, and they're usually lock the key. Although you can do a ton on the free side of Canva, a ton. But I really like these AI tools. I was using them every single week to make our thumbnails, and I thought I'm now at a point where $10 a month is a no-brainer. So I just went and paid for the year. Now, as we always say with AI stuff, that could end up blowing up in my face, because Adobe Express, I definitely want to talk about here in a second, once we finish talking about Canva, is coming in hot and fast. It's Adobe, and Adobe Express has a lot of the same types of tools and stuff for free that Canva does. They also have a paid account. And so it could be with anything in the AI that come June of next year, I'm really disappointed that I'm still paying for the Canva paid version, that I went ahead and paid for a full year. And that is a risk you're going to take with any new AI developments, not just multimedia, but across the board, because there's always a chance there's going to be a new tool that will make your purchase less valuable and you stop using it. So it was a risk, but because Canva's been innovating so frequently, I thought, well, there's a better chance of Canva's stuff getting better for the price than me feeling left out from a different tool,
Right.
And it's just a toss-up,
In that context, it feels like Canva is the leader and Adobe is the chaser. Right?
That's crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
I mean, it's like Google and Microsoft at the moment. When it comes to AI, Microsoft's the leader. Google's way behind.
Right. So, speaking of, Microsoft has a Microsoft Designer that also uses AI that is part of the 365. So you might want to look into that.
So if you're in a PowerPoint presentation and you want to do some of the tricks of the trade here, you can do it right inside there. Is that a paid thing, Beth?
It's part of the 365
so you get
license.
It if you have
so if you're
PowerPoint,
paying,
then you have it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But Canva was on all our lists when we said, what are you going to do what are you going to put AI? You're going to spend $100. What are you going to do? We were like $10 on this. Yeah.
So I do want to share Adobe Express, but before we do that, because I want to show you what I just created for a poster in Adobe Express. Now Canva may be able to do this too, but pretty impressive. But there's some other tools out there. I don't want to just say it's a 2-horse race. I think Canva is definitely, I agree, Beth, maybe sort of the leader in this space. Maybe some people would disagree and go, no, it's obviously Adobe with all their pedigree and stuff. There are other tools out there though. PicMonkey I looked at. They don't do everything that Adobe Express. They're more focused in niche. But PicMonkey does like flyers, Instagram, YouTube presentations, logos, and invitations is what's on their website. So, and they have a starter free trial as well. Their pricing, their basic is, their basic is $72 annually. Or their pro is $120, which would make it the same as Canva. Now, if that's all they do, I'm sorry, Canva is the better deal there, because Canva just has way more tools than a PicMonkey has. Then you have things like PictoChart, which I think Eran and I were saying, I feel like PictoChart's been around for a while. And they do a great job with things like infographics. It looks like they're also getting into like workflow stuff. catchy visuals, edit videos like a text document, edit your videos like a text document, which is more of a Descript type thing. Didn't know they could do that. So PictoChart is definitely expanding their deal, and their pricing and plans just look really quick. I'm not bothering sharing my screen on this because I know some people are just listening to us, so I'll spare you that. Their Pro, okay, their free is free forever, $0. You get 5 visuals, 2 downloads, right? These kind of things. Then you get to their Pro, and that is $14 a month billed annually. So quick math on that: $140, and then another $28, $168 a year. And for that, you get like 100 GBs of storage and library assets and 5 million plus pro icons, illustrations, 3D graphics. So like Canva, like Adobe, you get essentially better resources to sort of build from. And then the last one I just want to mention really quick, because they're also sort of pushing into the AI, is Pixlr. And I've used Pixlr for several years too. That Pixlr was the one, and that's Pixlr. That was sort of the one I went to when I was like, I can't keep paying for it. When my company said, we will no longer support your Adobe Photoshop habit, and we're not paying for that subscription anymore on your behalf. I was like,
many of us went through that withdrawal.
Yeah. And because I love Photoshop.
Used Pixlr because I didn't know how to use Adobe, and it was too complicated to learn. So I had it years ago.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I'm surprised it's still around.
Yeah. But when I had to let Adobe go, from the Illustrator and the really high end stuff that I was doing, Pixlr was like my free online tool. But I got to tell you, the days for most of what I do, because I don't really do like crazy editing where I have multiple things on a timeline. I really used to do some like in-depth video editing and stuff like that, and in After Effects, which was more serious on the side of how things worked or whatever. And I would work from templates.
And what Jimmy uses for the show.
Yeah. And it's an amazing tool, but the whole joke of it is, even after buying an upgraded computer and a borderline, I bought an intro level gaming computer, and I don't do gaming at all. I literally did it so that Adobe would not crash on me as much. Like that's the power they had over me, and how much Adobe crashed is like, I can't deal with this anymore. Now I look at these tools that are in your web browser, and I'll be damned if they're not more powerful with some of these AI pieces and parts than what you would have easily had to have downloaded and run locally,
right?
These programs, So
Eran, you said something that piqued my interest, and that was that HeyGen is included in some compact form in something. Was it Canva?
Yeah, so Canva, on the left-hand menu, Canva's got a section called Apps where you can go to and access. And what they're basically doing is they're doing deals with all sorts of companies to plug the products together. So you get, I don't know if the correct word is trial. You get a limited ability to use some of the different tools like HeyGen. So I don't know how, I haven't looked at the difference between that and the subscription that I pay, but there's a lot of options there.
Right. Yeah. So Runway video, text to video is also included in that. Yeah. And with the pro subscription, I get 50 credits a month. So I can make 50 videos a month with my subscription to Canva. It is it's not all the tools, it's the text to video.
Yeah. But, so for anyone like me who doesn't use these tools and has no history in using them, Canva seems to bundle a learning ability, to really trial some of these other tools and use them in the context of a really facile assembler of graphical images, which is Canva. I vote Canva.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have to guess that what's going on here is Canva's doing deals with these guys that, hey, we'll put you in our application, and if someone signs up, you pay us a commission. That's probably what's going on, which is it's a pretty smart business model when you think about it. But yeah, It's a great way to try all sorts of different things that you might not normally have done.
Yeah, and I'm just playing with it now, and you can definitely generate a HeyGen avatar video right in Canva. That's pretty impressive.
That's cool. And anybody who's already a professional user of the Creative Suite or whatever it's called from Adobe, they're not likely to shift to Canva,
right?
Because Adobe's like the enterprise scale power tool for graphic artists, and so they'll have AI enabled facilities within that whole suite. But if you're just starting out and you want to take advantage of AI, which can make you a graphic artist in a way that you never had the talent before, I think Canva is a great introduction.
Absolutely.
So the other thing about Adobe is that you have copyright to the images that you create, if I understand correctly.
Do you know that they talked about that? Yeah.
And I don't know about Canva.
I know with Canva, if you, for example, if you want to create a video, you have to, if I remember correctly, you have to connect your Canva account to your YouTube channel. That's right. So the background music that they've got in there, so they've got lots of stock music there. So in order to use that, you've got to connect your Canva account to your YouTube account, and it will authorize you with the music for one account. But you can't go and spread it across everyone's account. So there would be some aspect in there.
But if I generate, like I would suspect, the fees cover liabilities for logos too.
I'm sure that Canva's normally, like, you're covered as far as that goes. If you're paying for the license, then you've got the rights to use it.
Well, and that, yes, you have the rights to use it. You are, but you can't copyright the logo that you generated in Canva because you used it. Like, right? Like it's from Canva's pieces.
Yeah, you could be right there. So there's a comment in there, Brian. Do you want to pop that up?
Yeah, I do, and I don't know the answer to it. One of our LinkedIn users asked, "How is confidentiality being monitored with editing abilities (in parentheses audit trail, etc.) for approval in strategic changes?" I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer. Does anybody else want to take a stab at that? I'm assuming that would be more like on a team account.
I'm going to try to interpret the question because I'm stuck on what is a strategic change. Let's think about it in the context of graphic arts for a brand. You don't want to have some change, that's delivered by AI or by a junior artist using AI that is inconsistent with your brand. And so that's kind of what I'm assuming you mean by a strategic change. And you want to make sure that there is an audit trail to say, well, who made that addition to that image?
Right. And or, can you roll back versions?
You roll back to the prior? Yeah, that sort of thing. I would say it's not. How is confidential being monitored with editing abilities, audit trail, etc.? I don't think it is. I think you're going to, you can make changes to art. That art has to be approved before it's actually pushed to the web, like in production. So I think that there is a human in the loop on this kind of thing. Unlikely that. Go ahead, Beth.
This is a Canva tech question because this was always true, right? People are working online over the web. Multiple people can edit the same document. So while we don't know the answer to this, it is not a new thing that AI has brought and that Canva needs to figure out. The answer to that is exactly the same answer when somebody could get in and change your wording because you are collaborating on the same document.
So I just found this, guys. This is for the members and teams area, and it's talking about member activity information. And it says it includes a member role, when the member was last active or last logged into Canva, the number of times the template was, like, the design was created, the design was published, links were shared, and the designs were viewed. I don't see anything that has like a audit and approval process. I would be surprised if they had something that sounds advanced for Canva, but who knows?
So do we want to wrap up, or is there something that somebody wanted to is there anything that we haven't covered?
Well, I wanted to because I think this is all we can see on our side is LinkedIn users. So I apologize if this isn't the same person who put it, because we have a couple of comments, and thank you for the comments. If infuse Bart Simpson but changes clothes, is that allowed? My knee-jerk reaction to that is no.
I think it's especially if I use Bart Simpson. I would say that it wouldn't be allowed.
Got it.
Yeah. And then the other thing I wanted to add to that really quick was this was from August 2nd, 2023. According to Adobe, and I know this is for Adobe, not Canva, built with our AI ethics principles, our generative AI is designed to be commercially safe and trained on licensed Adobe stock and public domain images where copyright has expired, so your enterprise can generate content for public and commercial use with higher peace of mind. So just wanted to bring that out there because I know that's something that you're right. I do remember Adobe talking about that. And I know we're sort of on like, I didn't realize we're already at the 30-minute mark. So I will bring this up just very quick because I would be remiss if I didn't at least show Adobe. So this is sort of what Adobe Express looks like. Again, you can get, like, if I click on try premium, you can see right here, you can do a 30-day free trial. So just like Canva. And again, I would highly recommend going in and maybe doing free, back to back or concurrent free trials for Canva and Adobe to see which one might fit you better. Because if you look in here, we have everything from new video editing. And so if you're doing merges or easy crops or animations or captioning video, that's things that people used to pay independent services for. Video or for photo, everything from quick actions like resizing, converting. We also have text to image, a generative fill. We saw those in Canva as well. So that's using like the Adobe Firefly side. Everything from documents here, which would be similar to, again, Canva. And then we have the generative AI, which brings us back to text to image, text to template, text effects. Adobe came out with this a while ago where you could make really interesting lettering. I haven't seen anybody else do that specifically as a tool. Like I haven't seen Canva come out with a lettering tool.
Yeah, they look really, they look really different, right? Like the capabilities, like you could have both, right? Canva doesn't have a video merge because that's going to be an Adobe thing, right? Like that makes sense. Adobe would have the background and the infrastructure to be able to overlay a video on top of another video because that's what they do in After Effects.
And so
do they both have the ability to take an image and either upscale or downscale its resolution?
I'm sure.
I have to currently use a third-party plat tool for that. I'm not aware Canva can do it. Certainly not as far as I don't think so. Side of things go.
Because that's one of the things that AI promises to be able to do, which is take an image that is, like 1,800 pixels and make it a 36,000 pixel image, right? By filling in and making it really accurate.
So there's a new tool that's being like released on X, not associated with Elon. And I'm sorry, I didn't know I was going to talk about it today, but it's called Magnifier. And there are a bunch of creators who've gotten early access that are doing that. So like, I'm not sure that is the differentiator because there are other tools that are really coming down in price that make that pretty easy.
Yeah, probably the best one on the market at the moment is a tool made by a company called Topaz Labs, which I've used before. And I've taken an old video that was recorded on a tape cassette video handycam and expanded it up to HD. It's not great, but it's much better than I expected using Topaz Labs. And then I have another product I use which takes images and expands them up to printable size, and they work successfully. So there's options out there. Topaz is probably the best, particularly for video from what I've seen.
And these are the type of like features that I think a Canva and Adobe Express are going to be able to very quickly, if they like rise in popularity, they're going to very quickly be able to roll these out into their general offerings, and it's going to make them continue to be competitive and probably hard for these smaller tools. I mean, that's sort of across all companies. Just want to follow up on, again, thank you to our commenters. One said, thank you. Great point today. Looking into Canva. Yeah, definitely do the 30-day free trial. Do the 30-day free trial for Adobe Express. I definitely think, you're going to come out knowing which tool might be more valuable to you and whether you think you can use the free side of one and the paid side of the other, or maybe both free sides, which would be great. And then the last comment here, maybe same person, very insightful to how AI is changing artwork. Also, we will miss calligraphy and photography with these abilities. My take on that, maybe a great way to just sort of end this conversation is, I was saying this to Eran before we were live, and we've also mentioned this on the show, that my personal belief is that no, as a matter of fact, these tools are amazing. And for day-to-day work and all that stuff, I think they're amazing tools to just for efficiency's sake. But I definitely believe in the coming years, there will just be a premium continue to be put on live art, calligraphy, art houses, paintings that were 100% human, or maybe even done live in a space where you have a crowd. I see the value in that, Beth, which you've been doing with your stuff, as is hitting a premium, because absolutely AI is making this stuff easier for the general non-creative like myself to be able to do some pretty amazing things. And while that's amazing, and it makes life easy and business easy, for the true artists, the people that can create and sculpt and do calligraphy and these kind of things, I actually think they're going to be okay, because I think people are going to value that human creativity and creation because we know AI exists. And so we're going to know the value of seeing something that was created in that took hundreds of hours to complete, or whatever. A sculpture is still going to be a sculpture. And if it was done, if David, was done by human hand, or we could have had a robot that could also sculpt David out of one piece of marble or whatever, we're still going to value that human was able to do it, despite the fact that a robot could have done it 10 times faster.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. That's my take on
it. Yeah, I agree with
that. Yay. Well, I'm going to go play with Canva and Adobe Express.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we will. And there was one more comment from Greg, real quick. And live art will be better because the artists don't have to spend so much time on the boring commercial stuff. They do it for the art. Yeah, that's a great point, Greg. Great insight on that. Thank you. All right, listen, we'll wrap it up. We're a couple minutes over. That does it for this week. I hope all our listeners have enjoyed it. Thank you for all the comments today. They're always welcome. We try to get them up on screen and hit all of them all the time. And we just love seeing the comments on there. So come on back next week. We'll have a couple more topics. I don't know all the topics yet. I haven't done it. I've been kind of on vacation mode a bit. But I know on Wednesday we will definitely do the news. And Thursday next week we will talk about the 1-year anniversary of ChatGPT. And then we have some other topics that Eran and I were talking about. So maybe we'll get those on the books as well. That's it. Have a great weekend, rest of your weekend, holiday weekend if you're here in the States, and we will see you on Monday. Bye, everyone.
Arrivederci.
Aloha.
Aloha.